Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with CJ Rose, The Time and What Must Be Done. We are here again on another Sunday, broadcasting live from London in our studios over here in Leytonstone, East London, with MediaNet TV, and connecting with our sister station over there in Florida, TC Flex or Flex FM, bigging up to the man TC Flex and the Flex FM family. Welcome again. We've had a really eventful week. But I've got a very special show lined up today. Nothing serious. Well, actually, it is serious because it's about love and family. I am so proud to bring to you this week conversations with CJ Rose, and I'm having conversations with my daughter, Nia. Why? It's a special day for her today. Hi, Nia. It's a special day for her today because today is her birthday. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I wanted to talk with her. I wanted to engage young people on conversations with CJ Rose, because I think young people are our future. And oftentimes there is a disconnect between our generation and our children, and we don't actually get to the bottom of what they think. We tend to give instructions and guide, but we never really understand what they think or get their view on this situation that has really taken over their lives. Because, a lot of them are in university or college or school, and for the first time in their whole entire life have been, their freedom to a degree has been taken away. So I thought it was important to try and capture some information from young people. And who best but to start with family. So I wanted to also, you've got a lot to say. My daughter has a lot to say. And if you were watching last week, I showed her video, her Into Schools Speak Off video or talk that she did in 2015, which was 5 years ago. So sit back and welcome Nia to Conversations with CJ Rose, me, your mother. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Tired.
She's tired.
Yeah.
And we're smiling because she didn't want to do it. And because she is shy, got a lot to say, but actually is quite shy, especially if it's not her platform. So I thank her for coming, and I have a little thing to say. I've got to fess up that I did show your video last week and I didn't ask your permission, but we can talk about the lawsuits later, and we can settle it maybe over some pizza or something.
Yeah.
But, I forget that she's 20 now. And for me, as her mother, there's, I'm trying to make that adjustment in myself, that she's no longer a child. She's a young woman in her own rights. So Nia, tell me a little bit about Nia.
About Nia.
If you can flash, I've got a picture of you when you were in Jamaica for Auntie Anne's funeral. That was my great aunt's funeral. And I don't know if that can come up on the screen. You were 1 year old, I remember. And you were just small. When it's ready, tell me. You were tiny. They used to call you Teaspoon because you were tiny, but very, very headstrong. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about Nia, because what I did for both of my children, we did at the time when I was married. Our children went to school in the Caribbean. That was their first school experience. So they went to a prep school there. Is the picture ready, I'm told? There you are. Seven, but it was far too early for a child to be walking. And when people came to the house and you'd be walking, they'd be like, what's going on here? And I'm like, no, yes, she's walking. But you were always a very determined child, and equally a very determined young woman. Tell me a little bit about Nia since one.
Nia since one. It's been an interesting journey, I could say, up until this point. It's not really something I ask myself, like, tell me about me.
I know that's a really hard
it's a hard question.
I remember when I was working in corporate fashion, when we used to have what we call appraisals or performance reviews, one of the hardest challenge for me was, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
it was almost embarrassing. So I know I've put you on the spot.
Okay, well then off the bat, I'd say I'm a people person. I love my friends. I love my family. I love my job, and I love meeting people, interacting with people. I also like my alone time where I can be miserable, as you know.
Yes,
Fashion,
we know. Yes.
like you, that's where I get that from. Music, food, very hungry right now. I've been complaining the whole day. Yeah, just, yeah.
So how does it feel to be 20?
How's
And
it feel
I
to
have
be
to remind
20?
you that I keep saying that you're still our baby.
I
And,
know,
and how is mum with you? Do I handle you like a baby?
Yes and no, but it's
or
just,
should I let go a bit?
it's just little things you do now, but it's not like when you used to choose my clothes. You still try to do that, but like say no, you can't shop in that shop, or you can't shop in that shop. We've cut that one out. You've let me take my path. But yeah, how does it feel being 20? Hasn't just feel any different. I mean, my teen years are done, like on paper, although you could say you could be a teenager up until the age of 23. But yeah, I haven't really felt a shift or anything. Just clarity. Like, I'm getting older now. I'm not a child as much as I was before. I'm not a child.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember we had rituals where I would choose everybody's clothes in the family and lay them out and make everybody choose or wear their clothes the way I styled it.
Yeah.
And I remember it started with your brother actually saying to me, Mum, I no longer wear this. You can't shop for me in this place because it's not cool. And I'm like, oh my God, I was so hurt. But obviously you have to let go. And I'm glad that you have recognized that I'm trying. I'm trying at my point. So on a serious note, for me, because I've been doing this show for about 7 weeks now, and it fell in my lap, basically. And there is a remit to this. This is about connecting the dots in terms of our history and our spirituality for our people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also aware that in my generation, the sort of from 40 and upwards, try not to let go of my age, we are very serious about our culture. We talk about spirituality. We talk about our history. But I don't hear that so much. I know what you've grown up with. You've been exposed to quite a lot.
Yeah.
The position your father was in when, we were together, when we were married, your schooling, etc. Just the basis of our whole family. We're always discussing our spirituality and our roots.
Yeah.
What is the general feeling from your generation about the spirit, about self, first and foremost?
Self meaning black self, or?
Well, we could start with that. What is your, because when we were going to go into that a little bit later, that you have friends from all walks of life, all shades, and I think that's very conducive with your generation. It's conducive to your generation, mine too, perhaps, and the kind of people that we are. But yes, let's talk about yourself as a young black woman, as we heard on your speak out last week.
Well, like you said, my upbringing was a heavy influence on black people, ourselves, and obviously through schooling and like you said, with my dad and whatever. So I always had like a strong fundamental belief about myself from a young age. Growing up, it was maybe a little bit harder when I went to secondary school because of where I went to secondary school. So in a sense, I wouldn't say that I lost myself, but I was trying to understand myself and trying to understand other people through that. But obviously, as you grow older and you gain new experiences, meet new people, I can comfortably say, yeah, I'm happy with where I'm at in life. I'm happy with myself and my core values. I believe obviously they started forming when I was younger, but they haven't really changed throughout the years. It's just the same.
And what are your core values?
It's gonna be cringy. It's gonna sound cringy, but love. That's the only thing I could say. Just give love, receive love, show love. It's just the best.
And I like that. And what, in terms of where we are now in the world, and I feel so almost aggrieved. I'm going to say that because I worry for yourself as my own daughter. I worry for your generation, because what are we inheriting? And how is your generation feeling? How are your friends feeling about COVID-19? I hate that word. First and foremost, how, because it just came so suddenly, and you actually were coming back from Milan Fashion Week, and it had started to kick off, because we'll talk a little bit about the work that you do, and we will show some of the work that you have done for your company. But you handle a lot of social media for Sneakers and Stuff, which is a really cool brand over in the UK. You'd be up to Sneakers and Stuff. So they send you all over the world to do stuff for them. And you were coming back from Milan Fashion Week, and you didn't even tell me that they took your temperature.
No, it was my I thought it was I don't know, but it was my temperature.
It didn't tell you why?
Well, obviously I'd known that it was for Corona, because that's what it was around, like it was
in Wuhan.
No, it didn't hit Italy, but it was around,
Okay.
at that point. So they took my temperature when I was coming out of the airport.
And that was that.
Yeah.
And I remember sort of in mid-March, maybe towards the end of March, you were making plans to go away with your friends.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't listen to me, like, and I was like, you can't do this. You were trying to go to Greece, Cyprus? Ayia Napa. Oh dear. Anyone in the UK, tell us about Ayia Napa.
Ayia Napa.
Yeah.
It's a holiday grounds for young people.
Okay.
Yes.
And I know you're a good person, so I don't think anything untoward would go on in Ayia Napa.
No.
So I had to stop.
Obviously, I'm not gonna lie. You'll have your
yes.
Those people. And
yes.
The fun people as well.
I know you like music, and on a serious note, and that you've taken from my mum
and dad
and
everyone.
Everyone in the family. And we've got a lot of musicians in the family, and music has been the sort of basis of your foundation. And I remember now you recognise that what I was saying about perhaps you shouldn't be planning to go away was the right thing to do.
But the thing is because we've never seen anything like this before. So when you were saying you're going to be unable to go on holiday, I was just like, that's not possible. Like, of course I'm going to be able to fly. And I wasn't, but
but you're still going away, right?
Yeah, next week.
You've managed to do it.
Yeah, I'm not staying here for summer or the whole summer. I need to go away. Can't take it.
It's because it's been too much over
the
last 3 months.
It's been very depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Is that general consensus of your friends?
Yeah.
And how did they feel during lockdown? What's your view, or the view of your peers around lockdown and having to endure all of that with no real, because explanation?
I mean, well, everyone just accepted it. You had no other choice to accept it. Okay, you're working or doing uni, whatever, one day, then the next you've got to stay in your house. That is a big shift for some people. I know that was for me. I'm always going out. I don't like to stay in one place. I can't do that. So having to switch and go from being completely free to, it's weird because it unlocked a different sense of freedom. Okay. Because you didn't have the same stresses of working. I work in retail, so it's quite demanding. You have to see people all the time. So going from seeing hundreds of customers a day to just seeing the same 4 people in my household was a bit weird. But at the same time, I wasn't using up my energy in that sense. I had time and I had time to spend on myself and just go into myself a bit more and it was weird because Corona came at a time. I know amongst my friendship group as well, we were all having our own personal issues. So it was definitely a very huge time for reflection for a lot of people I spoke to. Found it.
That's really encouraging to hear. I
Yeah.
mean, so you all spent time just reflecting on self.
Yeah, because nothing else
rather
you
than
can do.
there's nothing rather than watching Netflix or.
I mean, I did binge, dude. I did binge. I always binge on Netflix, but
oh, not on food. You're binging on Netflix.
yeah, Netflix, not food. Netflix. Yeah, we call it binging on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what you said. Sorry.
You binged on Netflix.
Yeah, I
and
did.
How did you spend your time? You worked out a lot.
I
You
did.
did your own stuff.
It's weird because towards the beginning of Corona, I was very active. I would take Dora out. I'd work out and everything, and then it started getting a bit more long.
Almost like there's
you're
in a tunnel and there was no light
I was like,
to
I
it.
don't understand where this is going.
Yes.
And I lost a lot of motivation, I'd say, in the last month and a half. But yeah, the beginning part was okay. I was quite happy because I always said I wanted a break, but
it was a bit of,
it wasn't
come in
the break
form.
that I thought I was gonna have. Yeah, because
yeah.
it's literally a break from everything. I couldn't do the things that I would fill my time with outside of work. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to do that. So, yeah.
So, and here comes the serious stuff. And is that what's reflective? What do you think Corona is? I mean, what's your? I remember we spoke when we had a kind of a meeting. We had one of your friends was doing some photography, and we were running around South London photographing ourselves in parks and stuff. And we had this conversation with the young man that was doing the photography.
Yeah,
Jonah. Beautiful photographs, by the way. And we were saying you need to question this.
Yeah.
And is that what people are saying? Are you convinced?
No.
Because I had to buy you a mask to wear underground, and you hated wearing it, and you hate wearing it. And I don't agree. I mean, I absolutely do agree with you. But we've got some surprise coming up soon, aren't we? Because we're developing our own. We'll talk about that. So, what is your generation saying about having to mask up, or is it cool for them?
It sounds like a lazy answer, but we just don't care. Like, no one actually cares. Like, we care, but we don't. It's not, oh, we have to wear masks, or, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. If you want to wear a mask, wear it. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear it. I feel like we just get on with things and just carry on having to move, keep it stepping. I mean,
very, very.
Yeah, you can't.
That's so typical of that your generation, the millennials.
And I feel, and being a Londoner as well, it's a different mindset.
Yeah. In fact, during lockdown, I was out and about helping people, delivering with a brother that's been on this program, herbs and things that will help people who are ill. And I don't live in London, and going into London, I just realized London wasn't really on lockdown.
You can't lock down London
with the same intensity like where I live, or if you live in the outskirts. So that mood, you're quite right, of there was a mood there that people were just getting on with it.
I tell people you can't exercise or you can't play sport. My cousins were still going to football practice, football training. Yeah, and I say,
shouldn't shout that out.
I know, but I'll say good on you. I know social distancing, whatever, if you believe in all of that stuff.
But for your generation, it wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't really, we wasn't scared. Shanika was scared though. She didn't come out for a very long time. To go to her house, it was a big ordeal. So
Shanika's one of your friends from secondary school and lives in more of a sort of suburban area. Yeah. So on a more serious note, what is your view of the situation in America and what happened to George Floyd? What is your view of that? And then we'll talk about the whole sort of Black Lives Matter campaigning and what you feel in terms of a young Black woman, the situation is like.
So my initial thought was, when I saw everything go off, I was like, why is this happening now, when for so long we've been seeing Black people getting killed by police officers, by law enforcement? We see injustice countless amount of times, but this was the one that sparked basically changed the world. One of the
Has it changed the world, or has it opened people's minds?
I don't know. I mean, okay, you know what? I feel like it's opened the conversation for change.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially a lot of white people as well now, they feel guilty, and that guilt is making them go inside of themselves and try and understand what it feels like or is to be a Black person, or the struggles that we go through. And I put struggles in quotes because I don't like to keep being the underdog. Like I hate that, Black people always struggling, or always this, always that. I don't agree with that narrative. Yes, things are in place for us to not be as successful as other races and whatnot. However, I feel like the issue is within ourselves, and once we work together as a community, as a race, then we can see true change. Because you can't keep going to the white man or whoever's in politics, which are majority white people, screaming, "My life matters." You know your life matters. Why are you trying to prove it to someone else? They should know that your life matters. I don't feel like that should be the vocal point here, because it's a given, you know. Let's look at the fundamental issues, the core issues here.
And do you think that perhaps people were angry? That's why that sparked that type of narrative.
You want to say people's like, oh, the riots were bad. Obviously, yeah, chaos. It's not. I don't agree with chaos. I don't like riots or whatever. But if you've been cornered for so long, there's going to be an eruption, and that's what that was. It was an eruption. There was a lot of hurt. There was a lot of pain from the people, from everybody. Everyone felt that one. So yeah, go out and protest. Go out and do whatever, as long as it's with good intent. Yeah.
So you think protesting from your generation is a good thing? I understand, because of almost emotion will kick in, and it's like when you push something hard enough, it erupts.
I mean, what do you mean?
If you're pushing someone
into a corner, they're gonna want to
automatically
break out of that.
So but to be crying for someone to acknowledge that your life matters, and is that the general feel amongst your peers?
It's half and half,
because it was your generation mainly.
It's half. I don't know, because it's not that I don't agree with Black Lives Matter, because I understand the movement, I understand where we're going with it, and for us to have a unified voice. But I just don't, the slogan, I can't wrap my head around it. I just don't like it.
Okay.
It just doesn't
you did a very positive thing, I thought, for your company, because that's what one of your roles there is, to advocate social media, or the product on social media. And tell me, we're going to show that clip in a minute, where you got together with your other, tell me a little bit about what you did for Sneakers and Stuff, and we're going to show what it came from, because I thought it was a very positive spin, and you did that around the time of the sort of the height of the protests, etc.
So we were tasked to create some type of, not buzz, that's the wrong word, but awareness for the Black Lives Matter movement, and for things that had been going on. We have, I think it's like 6 stores, I can't think off the top of my head, but 1 store in the major cities, and as London, one of the, probably next to
you have stores
New York,
in Europe as well, of course.
Yeah.
And you've got a New York store.
Apart from New York, I guess London would be the next most multicultural city.
Yes.
So they're obviously coming to us because they want the London aspect of things.
Yes.
And the way I wanted to spin it was, I felt like people were saying, okay, yeah, you need to educate yourselves, you need to sign protests, you need to do this. When I felt like everyone became an activist overnight. They don't know nothing.
Yeah.
They don't even know what Netflix is gonna. They were saying watch the 13th on Netflix. Very good documentary about the prison system in America. However, that's not really like an education tool, but I don't really see why that's like the first point of call to go and educate yourself about Black injustice. I don't
Really?
think Netflix is the place to go, because if you want to really go there, you could have to go to the root. But that's not a conversation that everyone's willing to have. So understanding that that's not a conversation that everyone's willing to have, and not wanting to lean into the, okay, yeah, you guys need to do this, 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 and this. I was like, we should create a video that celebrates Black culture, and that is such a broad term, but it has so many avenues to it: food, music, fashion, and these are all things that literally make a society what a society is. And it was very detrimental into where we are today, right now. We owe a lot of that to Black people, and I said, okay, that's the route I want to go. I don't want to, tired of like the sadness and talking about slavery and things like that. I wanted to make it more lighter, an area. And I had to play devil's advocate. Say I was a racist, ignorant, or whatever person, and I'm going on social media and I'm looking and I'm seeing this movement take place. It was very overwhelming for me. I had to I deactivated my account. I was like, this is all a bit too much for me. I don't want to see this. So for someone who, I'm not going to say necessarily racist, but ignorant, they're not going to want to keep being fed like, like facts, this, that, like that's not the way I feel to go about it. And obviously we're a trainer store, so we're cool. We got
trainers if you're in the US, sneakers.
Yeah, trainers, not sneakers.
Or sneakers, not trainers, whichever way.
I thought that was best way to do best route for us to go down, and just make it personal. To us.
So the individuals are from Sneakers and Staff?
Yeah, that's our team, and we have a very good, very, very, very good team. It's like a mini family. We all get along very, very well. We all understand each other very, very, very well.
So we're going to play that. This is your spin. This is what you did. Which is how many views for social media on? Thousands.
Thousands. Yeah.
Yes. To just give a fresh spin to the whole stuff that was going on and is going on. Nia, let's play that.
Hey guys, I hope you're all doing the best you can right now given our current climate. It's easy to fall into a place of hurt and anger because, quite frankly, we've all had enough. We're tired. I want to shift the narrative from Black people always being killed in the media and victimized to one where we're being highlighted and celebrated. The impact and influence Black people have had on this earth is something quite special. Here are just a few things that the London team feel we owe to the culture.
First songs that influenced my music taste, it would be 50 Cent In the Club. And it influenced me a lot because still to this day when I hear it, it's very nostalgic for me.
I'm going to say Get Rich or Die Trying, the whole album.
Girl, it's easy to love me now.
I was able to steal it, and from then onwards, I was rapping hip hop all the way.
It has to be Pow by Lethal Bizzle, 2004 edition.
2004, Pow, I'm lead for the beat.
To be fair, I don't think I could pick a song. I could pick an era though, and that era would probably be 2000s dancehall. So people like Elephant Man, Wayne Wonder, Kevin Little, Sean Paul.
My biggest inspiration when I was growing up would have to be Miss Dynamite and what she used to wear and represent. Nobody could ever compete with Missy Elliott videos. The fashion, the dancing, the effects, just everything.
LL Cool J made Kangol cool. Kangol's a British headwear brand, if you don't know. Wearing those caps, and then later on came the emergence of the bucket hats, which were worn by Wu-Tang. That style is still around till this day.
To this day!
I like oversized clothes and crop tops, which was all inspired by hip-hop culture. This was developed by African Americans, Latino Americans back in the US.
This hip-hop scene in the US would have definitely influenced a lot of my fashion sense, even today, with a lot of the baggy fits that they have, whether it was like basketball.
Jordans, I genuinely don't style an outfit without them, and the inspiration behind that is the one and only Michael Jordan.
You know, my fashion icons are black. Pharrell Williams, Kanye West, they told me how to wear my jacket, my trainers, and my jeans. And most of the fashion trends now comes from the black culture.
Alexa, cue Solange, don't touch my hair. My hair is my crown. It's always been my crown, always will be my crown. No matter what I was told, you know, the fascination that my non-black peers had with it when I was young always made me love it even more. And the statement behind the afro literally speaks for itself.
Me, I love my black hair. Like, yeah, it's a struggle sometimes, like combing it at night, letting it at night, it gets long, but I love it.
I'm not gonna show you my hair right now because it's quarantine and you know I need a trim, but my hair means pride. You know, we've got that strong nappy hair that's unique to us, and we should definitely be proud of it.
To me, black hair is more than just style. It comes with purpose and creativity. Growing up, I used to have cane rows. Some people call it corn rows, but if you look at the history of it, you'll understand why I say it has a...
Well, did it cut off?
Well, I actually really enjoyed that. And I think well done to you. Really important to show that. And that's to the world from young black people in London. I love that. And London's always been a very diverse place where cultures intermix. And it's more about tribe than it is about skin color. That's what it was like when I was growing up. And when I moved to the States, I found that that wasn't the case. I remember it was just the most culture shock for me to be living in isolated neighborhoods, saying, I'm in the Jamaican neighborhood, I'm in the Spanish neighborhood, I'm in the Trini neighborhood or the white neighborhood. It was something that I really found strange. It's the same for you guys at this time, isn't it? That you find yourselves more, even though you understand who you are, but in terms of love and coming together, it's more about the heart, where your values lie, as opposed to the color of the skin. And maybe London can teach the USA a thing or two. That's what I think, you know, because there's a lot more appreciation of individuals here based on their values and alignment, and even the area that you grew up in, which is a little bit different when you went to school, but we'll talk about that. So tell me about that. Tell me about how your friends, which you've got friends from all over. This morning you were talking to one of your friends in Turkey whose birthday's on the same day, and she goes back to Turkey every year on her summer holidays.
Went with her.
And you've been with her and stayed with them. Yes. You've been to Lebanon with your Lebanese friends. Mexico. You've traveled quite a lot, and you know, you are very in tune with other cultures. And tell me about the love.
It definitely is down to schooling, because that's where you are every single day of your life, more or less. From the ages of 3 to 16 or 18, if you choose to leave, whatever. So my schooling, primary school, private, I was around in East Coast, a lot of Asians. So automatically I had a lot of Asian friends. So I understood things about the Asian community.
We broadcast to the Americas as
Oh, yeah,
well. So
well,
Asia in
yeah.
America is different from
Asians-
Asia here.
Yeah, it's not Oriental Asians in America. We say Asians.
Meaning
South
Indian.
South Indian. Indian,
Pakistani,
Pakistani,
Sikh.
Bengali.
Yeah.
So
Muslim.
Yeah.
Which is applicable to all races. But
Islam. Yeah. That's a religion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to school with a lot of Asians. I had a lot of Asian friends. Black people weren't necessarily the minority in East Court, were they? There were a few. There were a handful of black kids in East Court.
Yes. Yes.
There was a black kid, yeah. And white children as well. I mean, there wasn't loads. But from a young age, I had a multicultural friendship group. Then I moved schools. When I went to Braeside, that was the switch for me, I think, when it set in, because it wasn't mixed. It was an all-girls school.
So just to clarify that your first schooling experience was the Caribbean, was Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
which I did.
Yeah.
And then you spent a little time in a private faith school in the UK. But you were always in private schools up until a certain point. So
up until year 7, which would be grade 6 for Americans.
East Court, Braeside, which was private, but all girls.
Yeah.
Not in London then.
Yeah, Essex. Yeah. And I was the only black girl in my year, but the year was literally like 20 kids maybe. Small. It's very, very, very small.
Yeah.
So I was the only black girl in my year. Then there were 2 or 3 black girls, I remember, in the year above. I don't think even then I understood that there was like a difference. However, it was a girls' school, so it was a different type of rapport that we built. I don't think girls are so judgy or whatever. So I didn't really have any issues. It was when I left Braeside and then went to public school, the mixed public school in Essex, in Epping.
Yeah.
That's when it was like, so we're not all equal, supposedly.
I remember that. I remember when you were in Braeside, you used to go to a school club, after school club. It was really weird. I was laughing because you were 8, 9, and you used to say, "Oh, I've got tennis,
yoga,
or I've got yoga."
Yeah.
And when I saw your yoga class, you'd sit there combing each other's hair. That was your yoga class. It was all girls. It was just fun. But you never saw colour. You saw people. But then you went up to secondary school in a more sort of, I'm going to call it rural area, Epping. Lovely place.
Love Epping.
Love it to bits. But in going to that school with children, that was your first experience in what do we call them? Secondary comprehensive, public school, non-private school. And the experience was very, very different for you.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that experience, which led you to take part in the Jack Petchey Speak Out Challenge with that speech, "Why do you judge me?"
So I remember first going there, it was very daunting because first I'd never been in a school so big before. I'm like year 7 and I hadn't been with boys since East Court, and that was primary. And that was primary school.
Little nippers running around stealing your biscuits.
So it wasn't. I never really thought, but that was stressing me out. And the fact that I was going to be with big kids, I knew that there was going to be 16-year-olds there, and I'm 12 or 11. So that was very scary for me. So I go in, and in my year, there was literally one black girl, Shanika, who I mentioned earlier, and we're still friends to this day. But as soon as I saw her, I was like, I need to stick with her because I felt out of place. I felt out of place. I was like, I've never experienced something like this before. And to begin with, it wasn't overt racism, but people would laugh, people would be rude. Kids are just awful when they're in their pubescent stages, just not very nice. And I didn't sound like them, so it was.
I remember you were a bit posh.
Yeah, it's a weird mix because black people are meant to be hood, they're meant to be ghetto.
Yeah.
So I've come in now as a black girl to a public school, but I sound different to all of the white kids there, and they're like, okay, so what's going on with you? So that was also a bit of a strange mix for them.
Yes.
Yeah, but obviously, like, I know how to mingle, I know how to talk to people. I don't need to just speak to black people to feel comfortable. I have a lot, especially growing up, all my friends were white, you knew this.
Yeah.
So I was very comfortable in that setting. When I started like putting my foot in, I made friends, it was cool, whatever. Then the more racial stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And I'd say that was when they switched schools. So year 8 onwards was when it started to get a bit like
And there was a particular incident, and
yeah,
even though we've mentioned the name of the school, I have to say the way the teachers, maybe when I showed it last week, it says it, the teachers handled that incident where a boy called you a nigger, and
Sabria
with your 3 friends, and
3 black girls, by the way. We were all best friends. The only 3 black girls in the year. We had to be best friends.
Yes.
And then there was one other girl. She's Asian.
Okay, so the boy called you this. You being near, as little as you were, you walloped him. You punched him.
Yeah, it was the only fight I've ever had in a
you punched this big boy, much older than you. What
No,
age?
he wasn't.
Was he? He wasn't in your year.
He was like the 2 years below me, 3 years below me, but his brother was in my year.
Brother.
So he thought he could go around and just act the fool because his brother was this bad kid in my year.
So you whacked him. And I remember being in a meeting, and I got a call saying that you've got to come now, that we've had to call the police. So you whacked him, and the mother came to whack you or something. And I think the teacher threw herself in your way, so she got hit in her ears. Amazing. But how the teachers handled that. But you and your friends had to be escorted, had to be taken home in a cab, and then you had to go back to school for a week or so, maybe escorted.
Yeah, we had security.
But you stuck up for yourself, and the teachers stuck. We're fighters in our family. You got it from my mom. Sorry, don't mess with us. And I remember we were telling you, Nia, you can't just punch anybody because he's a boy. He could have done you in. You were like, I stuck up for myself, for my children.
I was ready to lose a tooth if he was going to punch me.
She beat up the boy. So
I
anyway,
didn't beat him up.
you
But
punched him down.
I didn't punch him down.
What did you do?
I swung for him, and it hit him.
Yeah, you
and
punched
then
him.
he
Not that we're advocating
then
violence.
he swung for me.
Yes.
But then I did that, and he punched the teacher in the ear instead. So then she's half deaf. That was just all. It was a Palaki. That was ridiculous.
But it led you to look at it in a more deep way. You went in and you did this. You wrote the piece, and I remember helping you with it.
Yeah.
And had to perform that in 3 minutes and won the Speak Out Challenge. Did you feel that you'd gotten things off your chest by writing that piece? And I don't know if we should show it, a little bit of it again.
No, you don't need to.
I love it. And the producer does.
Will I always be a second-class citizen? If it's not my color, it's my gender. There are 88,000 racial incidents reported in schools each year. 88,000. And I've been one of them. And I ask you, who's doing the abusing? Children. And I'm told to move on and to forget it, to block out the ignorant and derogatory comments made. But no child is born to hate. Let's backtrack a little. Those very first precious moments when your mother's holding you in her arms, numb to the pain that she's just endured, she looks into your eyes and she says, I love you. Are those words filled with hate and ignorance? Does she hope that one day her child may grow up to be a racist? Now you tell me, should she still love you? Young black males are often perceived as thugs, street rats, and gangbangers. Oh wait, let me not forget that good old chicken lover. If you were to see my older brother Kai, 6 foot tall, looks to look like me, so you know he's got to be handsome, right? Stereotypically, you'd expect him to speak like this, family, get me dough blood. But what if I was to tell you that my brother Kai attends one of America's top private boarding schools? Now, do you still picture Kai as this uneducated youth on the street? You see, some may say that the picture I painted is far too black and white, but therein lies the issue, black and white. You may say that for many years now, humanity has done its best to try and unite, and of course, matters are improving. That I can't deny, and to say nothing remains to be done would be a terrible lie. Now, imagine the prejudice that I face as a young black woman. I'm expected to aspire to that perfect weave instead of that perfect profession. I'm expected to have a big booty like Nikki instead of big dreams. You see, this is me raising awareness for equality because racism and discrimination is still a problem in today's society. When you look at a garden, what do you see? Many beautiful colors, right? It's what makes the garden so special. We need to look at humanity in the same way because the diversity amongst us is what makes us beautiful. As the great Nelson Mandela once said, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if you can learn to hate, then you can be taught to love. But love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite.
I will never stop showing that. I'm sorry, hate me. I just think it was brilliance at 15 to take on the topic in the way that you did, and the resounding statement for me is love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite, and that's what I see you doing with all your friends.
Yeah.
It's we've been in lockdown. I want to thank you for coming on this station, Nia. I know it was hard because you're like, it's my birthday. Why have I got to come on and talk?
Yeah.
It's about you. We just want to say, Theo, that if my phone keeps going off because really I've been organizing a little something with people who love you. So they're here. I'm standing up because it's Nia's birthday. Here are the people who love you. I'm not on screen, I'm not on camera. Happy birthday to Nia. Here are the girls. Come on, guys. Here are the girls that were at school with you. We love you. She's crying. Here's Shanika. She just mentioned your name. Where's Shanika? Shanika, Sabria. These are the girls that got attacked from Epping St. John. Here is Yana. Happy birthday. Here's my mother. Here's Kai. This is Big Brother Kai in Georgia. Come on, guys. We did it. We made it work. We made it work. We made it work. This is Nia's birthday, y'all. Hi, mother. This is my mom. This is Georgia. This is Big Brother Kai. This is my stepdad. And then, if everybody stands around here, because we've got a mic for everyone. Can we bring the Americans in, please? I had to, sorry guys, the mic is on. That's why I was on my phone in the way that I was, but I'm so sorry. Answering messages because I was trying to get this organized outside. Look, she's crying. We got Uncle Ian and Auntie Lisa.
Hi, Nia.
Say a big hello. We did it. We did it. Yo, Florida. Yo, America. Yo, Africa.
Nia, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Nia?
Yes, Uncle.
I'm sorry I couldn't be there in the flesh. I just want to say.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now, Nia?
No, Uncle-ish. A little bit.
There's a delay in the studio. Yeah, there's a delay. If you can hear me, I just want to say.
It's live, y'all.
Can you hear me, Carol?
Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
want to
keep
say,
talking.
Nia, I just want to say that even though we can't be there, very proud of the young lady that you've turned into. And I say young lady, you're a young woman. You're no longer the child that everybody adores. We now adore you for who you are as a young lady, and I'm very proud of you. I love you very much. You're an inspiration. Continue to be that inspiration into your adulthood. And we love you very much. And Auntie Lisa does.
I'll second that, girl.
My family,
I'm
my
gonna pass the
family.
mic around. Where's Shay?
Bye bye, Youngs.
I'm gonna pass the mic around. You just, I'm just gonna go first to Shana, and then brother. Just say happy birthday. Because she spoke about you guys earlier. We talked about the thing.
I know.
Yeah.
We can hear you guys. Just say happy birthday to her.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm going to see him tomorrow. But yeah, don't have to say nothing.
You know I love you.
Yeah.
And you're one of the main inspirations as to why I am the person I am today and how I am today. So I just want to say happy birthday and big up yourself on your birthday.
Shanika, let me take this from you, darling. She mentioned you earlier about being the first person at school
that didn't like me.
No, Nia's been there for me since the beginning in ways that, you know, I couldn't even imagine. You've been there when I've been down. You've been there when I've been happy. You're just the greatest friend.
Thank you.
I literally love you so much, honestly.
Thank you, my dear. I love you.
Happy birthday.
Is that Shay?
Yeah. Look, I can see now.
Shay. Hello, Shay. Hello, Titty Foot. Titty Foot.
Hello, Titty Foot.
Yes,
This is my brother Kai. This is my brother Kai and Georgia.
Obviously,
What's going on?
You won't be able to see like that.
It's working? You got it?
Yeah.
Speak, Mom. Speak. Happy birthday.
Yeah, obviously, Nini, my little sister, I've seen you grow into a wonderful young woman. So I'm just really proud of you, and I'm happy to be your older brother.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
you're not a teenager
not
anymore, finally. So
yeah.
Can't believe you gotten this big, but I know you're a wonderful young woman. So keep up the good work.
And Georgia?
No,
Nana and Granddad.
Happy birthday.
Oh, you're great.
My baby.
Yes, Granny.
I did it. I organized this.
I am here, and nothing could have kept me. But even if I had to walk it from Jamaica, I would have reached here today. Honey, keep up the good work.
Yes, Nana.
Remember what Nana always say?
Nan.
Tunnel, but at the end of it there is
light.
Yes. And do not allow anybody, no me, no she, no he, no her, stand in your way. Achieve what you are here for. I always tell you that, and I won't stop. I don't care if you're happy when I tell you.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Do not be left behind.
Yes,
you're going through that tunnel, and you're going to get what you want. God bless and keep you in His grace, always. And I'm here for you. I ask God not to take me away from my grandchildren till they pass the worst. I want to be at the graduation. And I love you with every.
This is so annoying.
Okay, pass the mic to I mean, this is about showing love, everyone. And we've not been able to show love since this whole lockdown. And we just want to encourage families to get together, to show love, to celebrate. This is just a little snippet of my family and friends. We've got the Americans coming through. I'm sorry, Uncle Delroy, you want to say something? Yes.
Okay, Nia, it's nice to see that you're reached this age. I can remember you when you were 7. And Kai was 14. And I always say, I will not forget that because you told me that Kai is twice your age. we go pick you up at the school, and you'd go put on your seat belt, you'd jump in the car, put your seat belt on, and you're ready to go home to do your homework. It has helped, Nia, and I wish you all the best in future. God keep blessing you, and success is there.
Thank you, Uncle Dora.
Have we got the Americans? Have we got your cousin and your auntie from the States? Yo, we've got everybody. We're not just gonna hold it right here. Have we got them?
Oh, it's Man Like Paige.
It's Man Like Paige.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if we can see you.
Hi, Princess Nia.
Hi, Auntie. Hello.
Hi to the
I'm
family.
good,
Hi,
thank you.
Kai. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Mom. Hi, Delroy.
Auntie, I can't see you.
We can't see you.
I'm not sure what's happening. I'm watching on my other device. I don't know what's happening.
Anyway, just talk. We're going to be off air. We've got 5 minutes.
I'm not sure why this is happening, but I just want to say happy birthday, Nia, my little princess. You're the daughter that I didn't have, even though you're my niece. But you're my little princess, and then you'll always be Princess Nia, no matter how old you are. But I'm incredibly proud of you. You've grown up to be a beautiful young lady, and we just love you, and we wish you all the best in life, and that everything you do, you will become successful at it. In fact, I know you will, because of the determined spirit that you have, that you've always had since you were a baby. So from you were 3 months old, we knew you were going to do something great, because you were trying to get up and sit up by yourself. So I just want to say happy birthday, and wish you all the best in life, and may everything you aspire to do and become manifest. I have no clue that it will be so, but I bless you for that. And
thank you.
I want to say I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. You are truly blessed. You are the child, you are the daughter of the king and master of this universe, and all of this is your inheritance. So there's nothing you cannot do.
All of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. I love you.
Thank you.
And I see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is just showing love to my daughter with all her friends and my family. And we just want to say love comes more natural to the human heart than its opposite. This is Conversations with CJ
Shout out
Rose.
to
The time of what
Speak
must
Out
be done.
Challenge and
Shanika and I, we did this very well, didn't we? Even when when I made you call her because she was getting in the mood. and so,
she could slide.
So thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.
Not even
we
talking
did it.
to you.